Accessible, expensive, very low penetration, and the era before that, the time of landlines, was even more cumbersome. There were times which I remember very clearly where one could not get through on long distance phone calls. One would have to wait till past 8 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night to book those STD calls called trunk calls. And sometimes you would, in urgent times, would make a lightning call to be booked. It would take half an hour, 1 hour to get through. And then a faint voice would come from across the other end. Those were the times where communicating with each other was difficult, unheard of the rates that we talk of today. But I'm glad in the last 17, 18 years there has been a paradigm shift in the way our society has functioned. And mobile telephony today is something that is an example for the rest of the world to emulate. I think credit must be given to the industry, to the policy makers, through the times, last 15 years, as really, today we are boasting of the lowest call rates on earth. More than 80 crore people have mobile phones. These numbers are astounding. We're adding 18 to 20 million new subscribers every month. But as we move forward, the telecom space itself is getting converged. Information communication technologies, mobile technologies, telecom technologies, the internet, the broadband, all of that conversion is happening at a time where today our telecom market consists of about 90% of the business is still voice and SMSs. The next 3 to 5 years will see a huge change and will bring about the era of the value-added services. These value-added services will be demand-driven, data-heavy services, information, entertainment, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities, small villages where young people, aspirational India, young India will seek these services from providers. Therefore, the Government of India is fully committed to meeting with those expectations of the young people of tomorrow who will not want to watch things on television, who will not want to transact money physically through credit cards or through carrying money in their own wallet. The handheld device will become their television, their wallet, their bank, their source of information and entertainment. To achieve that goal, we have to put in place policies and infrastructure today so that we can make them deliverables in the very near future. As you're all aware, the new telecom policy is being formulated. We've had many discussions with all stakeholders, and I'm happy to report that every single person or entity or company or stakeholder that can be inculcated in our discussions has been inculcated. The new telecom policy 2011, I think broadly will have 3 aspects, and I'll briefly touch upon each of those. First, we need spectrum, and sufficient quantity of spectrum has to be given to people who will make these services a reality. Spectrum allocation, pricing, trading of spectrum, sharing of spectrum, mergers and acquisition, all these issues are being deliberated. And to my mind, the spectrum in this country is a scarce national resource, which is the asset of the people of India. The governments are mere custodians of that asset. Therefore, the government and its people must realize reasonable revenues for that spectrum. To formulate ways to figure out what could be the process where we realize reasonable revenues for this scarce national resource. The industry, which has really contributed immensely in making Indian telecom sector what it is today, needs to be encouraged. We must foster policies where the industry grows at a robust growth rate. The industry will be the one that will usher in the telephony and broadband services to the furthest corners of our country and to those who are right at the fringe of our society. And third, most important, the people of India deserve the best quality of services in telecom and broadband at the cheapest possible prices. These 3 big ticket items must really form the nucleus of the new telecom policy. It's been 12, 13 years since this country has had a new telecom policy. And as we talk about telecom, I think hardware and manufacturing of hardware, which my colleague pointed out, Mr. Sindhya, about how we need to really emphasize on the manufacturing part of our economy, which has not really realized the potential that it has. 2/3 of India is still on farmland, tilling agricultural land and producing food grains and etc. and contributing 17% of our GDP. We've got to shift this young force, working force from farming to manufacturing, and for manufacturing to really take off in the way that we want it to take off, the policies must be in place. I'm happy that the government is focusing on supporting, encouraging, and making sure that domestic manufacturers are given preferences as long as they meet the price points and the quality. There is no reason why in this country, where we have the raw material, the technology, the human resource talent, why we cannot make the best quality products that the world has produced. Therefore, manufacturing is going to be a big push. The electronic manufacturing demand is going to grow exponentially. The Indian manufacturers must be ready to meet those challenges. As we move forward, the NOFA, the National Optical Fiber Agency, is going to make sure that we roll out optical fiber to the furthest corners of our country. Optical fiber, once rolled out, will remove the constraints of data and how it can travel. The software applications, the packages, the local language content, cloud computing, all those aspects have to be worked upon simultaneously so that the telecommunications and the IT can really benefit the people who have still so far been untouched by the IT and telecom revolution in this country. I wish to congratulate all the people who have been chosen to be given the awards to, and I also want to congratulate the organizers for having brought all of you together. And at each time, we must stop and take a look at what we've achieved, appreciate the people and the entities who have contributed to the tremendous growth of this sector, but take encouragement from what we've achieved and look at greater heights. Look at the world best practices and see how India can be the global leader, can be ahead of the curve in R&D, in technology, in mobile technologies, in manufacturing, in internet telephony, in broadband servicing. These are all areas that are yet to evolve. I hope that the industry, along with the government and all stakeholders, will continue to talk and deliberate. In the very short next few months, we'll come up with policies that is going to benefit the most common man in India, the Aam Aadmi. But events like this, where we recognize and appreciate and reward those people who have contributed, I think are very important. I thank the organizers for inviting me. Jyotiraditya and I both work in the government, and I can assure you, whether it's the Commerce Ministry or the Telecom Ministry, we must be able to create job opportunities. We must be able to create a regulatory environment where job creation takes place, where investments takes place, where young people